As an introvert, there are some days where I just don't really feel like talking to anyone. So that's exactly what I'll be doing today, by seeing how far we can progress through every Zelda game without talking to people, starting with the original Legend of Zelda on the NES. Now thankfully for us, Link is a man of few words, or rather, no words, but we do have to look out for people trying to engage us in conversation. Turns out though, it's actually pretty difficult to do much in this game without a weapon. But hey, at least we're able to go for a nice walk and enjoy the scenery. But yeah, we're not able to complete any dungeons to progress the game without first heading into this cave to pick up a sword. Unfortunately, that does require us to talk to this old guy who, lives here, I guess.
Listen!
On to Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, where we begin the game in front of Zelda, who looks like she had a bit too much to drink last night, so we don't have to worry about her talking to us. Now, unlike the original Zelda, we actually begin this game with a sword, so no chatting up old guys in caves required. Another great thing about this game is that while there are towns full of people, you don't actually need to talk to any of them. So let's make our way to the first dungeon of the game, Parappa Palace, and just start hacking away at everything in our path before they get a chance to say hello. I think we're gonna be here for a while.
One eternity later.
Anyways, after defeating a bunch of enemies with our styrofoam sword, we are rewarded with a candle. So with the great power of slowly melting wax on our side, we are able to defeat this evil horse man and complete our first dungeon. All right, now let's continue by making our way west and into this cave. Here you'll want to keep your eyes peeled, just in case there are any old guys looking to hand out swords. But luckily for us, it seems like there's only a bunch of bloodthirsty monsters. And once we make it by those, all that's left to do is to jump over this... Okay, so you know how there's towns with a bunch of people that we've been ignoring up until this point? Well, unfortunately, in order to make it past that wall in the cave, we first need to go inside a house and head down into the basement where this family keeps their grandpa locked up. But turns out this isn't just an ordinary grandpa. This is a magical wizard grandpa who teaches us the mystical spell of jumping slightly higher. But in order to learn it, we of course need to talk to him first.
Hey, listen!
Next up, we've got Link to the Past, which immediately begins with Zelda speaking to us in our sleep. But I'm gonna set an introvert % ground rule here and say that any talking that happens before we first gain control of Link doesn't count. So after Uncle Mustachio says goodbye and heads out, we can start our adventure for real. By the way, I just realized this, do Link and his uncle share this bed? Anyways, early on, we're limited to only being able to explore around Hyrule Castle. The front door is off limits, but thankfully there's a hole under this bush that we can gracefully fall down. Now our goal is to rescue Zelda. Oh, is he? Well, I guess that means he won't talk to us then if we just reach down and grab that. Well,
Listen!
over to Link's Awakening, where we begin washed up on a beach and dragged all the way back to Marin's house. Once we wake up, she immediately bombards us with pleasantries and well wishes, but since we're not in control of Link yet, we're just gonna ignore all of that and promptly leave the... Oh, I guess we need to talk to Mario first.
Listen!
All right, on to Ocarina of Time, and I don't know about you guys, but when I'm just laying around in bed minding my own business, I usually prefer not to have a loud, boisterous fairy bust into my room shouting at me to wake up. But that's okay, because once we're in control of Link, we can get some fresh air outside, where surely there won't be anyone eagerly waiting to talk to... Right.
Listen!
Next up is Majora's Mask, where we begin riding through a forest in the middle of absolute nowhere. There's no way anyone could bother us here. Okay, so I guess we can't even go for a nice relaxing horse ride without people talking to us. But we haven't gained control of Link yet, so while we do have to watch our horse get stolen, at least we're left alone for the time being. Unfortunately, there's not much to do here though, other than touch some grass and practice our gymnastics. So let's just head into this tree and fall into a dark void where unfortunately we are forced to socialize.
Listen!
Over to the Game Boy Color now with Oracle of Ages. After inputting our name, we are dropped into a nice peaceful grassy meadow. It doesn't look like there's anyone else here, so let's just enjoy. Oh, well, maybe she won't talk to us after we help her.
Hey, listen.
In Oracle of Seasons, we're similarly dropped into a nice grassy area. Is he alive? Okay, turns out he's fine, so let's just head to the right here. Oh, dang, these bushes are heavy. All right, I guess we'll have to talk to these people.
Hey, listen.
At least there's no, like, natural disasters or anything we have to worry about. Oh no. All right, on to Four Swords. Now this is an interesting one because in order to even play this game, you need to have a second player. But in the true spirit of introvert percent, I came prepared for this. Once we gain control of our links, there's no one immediately trying to talk to us, and that allows us to progress through the sea of trees in blissful peace. And by that, I mean we slay a bunch of pigmen, get haunted by a spectral wraith, then rip the limbs off of a spiky plant monster. But hey, as long as we don't need to talk to anyone, that's all totally fine by me. So let's just pay a quick visit to this swimming pool to finish up the first stage. I think we might be able to actually beat this entire game without anyone chatting us up. Oh, well.
Hey, listen.
Next up, we've got Wind Waker, where our peaceful afternoon nap is rudely disturbed by Errol. Apparently, she's being like a nice sister and wishing us a happy birthday. But regardless, that conversation happened before we took control of Link. So we'll just erase that from our memory, then safely climb down this ladder and walk across this bridge into town. So while there is a decent amount to explore here and plenty of rupees to collect, there's also a lot of people. So we gotta make sure to avoid accidentally talking to anyone while rolling around. Ugh, get away. In order to progress the story though, we'll eventually need to pick up a change of clothes from Grandma, and there's no way she's just gonna hand it to us without saying anything.
Hey, listen.
Over to the Minish Cap, where once again, we're not allowed to sleep in and instead forced to come downstairs to say hello to a house guest. But maybe we can just... Well, it was worth a shot. Okay, so I get that our house guest is the royal princess of the kingdom and all, but sometimes I just want to hang out in my room. Is that too much to ask?
Hey, listen.
Okay, so thankfully Four Swords Adventures added a single player mode, so we can actually put away our second controller for this one. The game begins with our links fulfilling their grass touching quota when an owl swoops in to talk to us. Now this begs the question, are owls considered people? You know what? I'll save that philosophical debate for another time and just continue on for now. A little ways into the level, we find ourselves at a dead end. We need a way of clearing out these tree stumps here, so of course that leaves us no choice but to break and enter this house. If we just move very quietly, maybe she won't notice us. Okay, don't mind us, just gonna pick up this rock and grab this fire rod real quick. Okay, I think we're actually in the clear. Let's just make our way back outside and...
Hey, listen.
Onto Twilight Princess, where we gain control right outside Link's house, with this guy just, staring at us. Anyways, if we try to run by him and head into town, he'll start talking to us. So that leaves us with two options. One, head back into Link's house, where once we're inside, we can... Oh! He's still watching us. Or, two, run into the woods to pick up our horse. The only problem is that Epona is currently being watched by Ilya, who talks to us as soon as we walk up.
Hey, listen.
Over to the DS games now with Phantom Hourglass. We begin washed up on a small island where there's just a few spots we're able to explore. If we try to run away either to the north or to the east or in this cave, the fairy who's been following us around will stop us and tell us to go talk to their grandpa instead. So that only leaves us one option to progress the story. Unless... Dang, this guy's pretty tough.
Listen.
Spirit Tracks is a pretty similar story, except this time we gain control of Link already in front of an old guy. So we'll just head out before he says anything. Now, just like Phantom Hourglass, there isn't much to do in the starting village other than talk to people. Well, I guess you could like drown, but in order to progress the story, we'll need to head up to the train station where there's a guy eager to talk to us right away.
Hey, listen.
Next up, we've got Skyward Sword, where we wake up in Link's room at the Knights Academy. Now, with this being an academy and all, unsurprisingly, there's quite a few other people staying here. Looks like he's got that handled. Luckily though, there are a few spots where we can enjoy some privacy. Once we're done with that, we can head outside where it looks like we're in the clear, so let's just... Oh, okay.
Hey, listen.
Onto a Link Between Worlds where we've got an introvert's worst nightmare. But yeah, all we can really do here is head outside where Gully is excitedly waiting to chat us up. Or maybe, hear me out, I could just put on this mask over here. What's the worst that could happen? Alright, I guess we'll go talk to Link Jr. over here.
Hey, listen.
Over to Triforce Heroes, where we actually aren't sleeping to start the game, but instead appear in Hytopia, a kingdom filled with fashion connoisseurs. Now, while we are able to freely wander around this town, there's not a whole lot we can do without talking to people. If we head up towards the castle, the guard will stop to chat with us. And if we go into the only other open building, we're immediately berated with insults. So I'm just gonna talk to this cat instead.
Hey, listen.
Alright, on to Breath of the Wild. We begin this one naked and alone in a dark cave, which sounds perfect to me, so let's go ahead and grab this iPad over here.
That
Whoa.
is a Sheikah slate.
Let's go ahead and not count telepathic talking. And we'll say that Link's just going a little insane. After putting on some pants and exiting the cave, we immediately see that we're being stalked by an old guy. So let's definitely not go that way. Now at this point, as long as we just keep ignoring the voices in our head, we can explore around most of the Great Plateau without talking to anyone. But after we've got our fills smacking around a bunch of bokoblins, enjoying the sights, and picking up an even newer, fresher pair of pants, let's head to this rubble and raise a giant tower from the ground. Now here we can either acknowledge that it is in fact Zelda who's communicating with us, or maybe it has to do with those mushrooms we ate earlier. Either way, once we descend down to the bottom of the tower, the old Santa Claus stalker flies in out of nowhere to chat with us.
Hey, listen.
Next, we've got Tears of the Kingdom, where we also begin in a dark cave, but this time fully clothed and with Zelda physically next to us. She's not talking to us right away though, so maybe we can just run ahead and gain some distance. Well, at least we tried.
Hey, listen.
Finally, we've got Echoes of Wisdom, a Zelda game where you actually get to play as Zelda. But before that, we first start in control of Link, making our way through a dungeon in order to confront Ganon and save the imprisoned princess. Luckily for us, Ganon is a big pig monster, so we shouldn't have to worry about him talking to... Oh.